Hi friends, it's Maud here again and welcome to your hip internal rotation mobility drill. Hip internal rotation is not getting a good rep these days or for a while, but we do find ourselves in situations where we would have to internally rotate our hip, or we find ourselves in situations where our hips just internally rotate because that's just how we are positioned in that situation. So perhaps, you have something in your hands and you're making a turn in that flight of stairs and you're not evenly positioned in front of the stairs and you're just taking that first step and then your just knees coming in, your hips rotating, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be a fatal experience or a serious experience. Or getting inside the car where you're stepping in and that means your hips going to internally rotate before you get seated and stepping in. Or getting on a bike, even when you're getting on a bike and you're trying to put that foot on top of the pedal and there's some internal rotation that's happening, and these are just shapes that we find ourselves in, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing. And so in this drill, I have my yoga block, but feel free to grab a thick pillow or a thick blanket or whatever, because we're just going to place this in between the knees. And so for this drill, we're going to just take different ways of rotating the hip in and just finding a different experience in each shape, in each one, and see whichever one is works better for us. And perhaps you can pepper this in your yoga classes or in your everyday practice if turning the hip in is definitely something that you want to increase a range of motion, or you're not quite sure if you're able to do that in a way that feels safe for you or acceptable, whatever that may mean, right? So let's get on our backs. Place something between your knees, and in my case, it's the yoga block. And then just sort of relax your upper body. And then get the feet to be in front of the knees. So you're definitely sort of in this 90-90 angle here with the knees on top of the hips and your feet in front of you. And then you're going to press into that block gently and then just wing your right foot out to the right side, which means you're going to turn your hip in and back to center. Turn it out, back to center, turn it out, back to center. Please don't feel bad if you're not able to wing it all the way out. I am not, but this is a good barometer, right? It's a good gauge and assessment as to how much internal rotation my hips can do. Let's just do one time here on the right leg. And then let's internally rotate the left side. Just out and in, out and in. Maybe 3 more times. Keeping the breath soft, the face and the upper body is relaxed, lengthening the back of the neck. That way there's no strain. And let's do both legs at the same time. Wing it out, back in. Notice if you are feeling this in your lower back. Definitely engage the abdominal muscles, engage the muscles in the core, your entire trunk to keep you stable. And so just keeping this mobility drill sort of sustainable, and you can last here for long, for a few more minutes. Out and in, and then out and in. Beautiful. Lower the leg. You can take the block off to the side and then step your feet out wide as the mat. And we can start with our right leg here. So make sure you're just making this letter A shape with the legs and that the feet and the heels are not too close to your glutes. Again, relax the upper body and just drop the right knee in. Dropping the right knee. Keep the left knee up towards the ceiling. It kind of wants to move with the leg, but the legs are kind of twins that way, especially when you start them in this symmetrical position. It's almost like the other one just wants to be along for the ride, like, please let me do that as well. But keep the right knee moving in and the left knee just pointing up. Maybe 2 more times. If you want to go with the breath, inhaling as you open, exhaling as you close. And then let's do the left knee this time, the left hip rather. In, out, in and out. Again, the right knee is up towards the ceiling as the left hip and the left knee moving in and out. Maybe 3 more times. two, and last one. Beautiful. Now we're going to move both legs at the same time. So make sure that the toes are kind of pointing either 45 degrees or forward. We don't want to force them to do anything that's not comfortable. The focus is definitely on the hips and the knees, but also know since everything's connected, it does have something to do with how you're placing your feet as well. Hands on top of the bellies and just turn that both hips in and then out, hip. And when I say out, you don't have to externally rotate. You can just point them towards the ceiling. In, out, in, out. Beautiful. Do this 4 more times. Be patient. This is definitely not something you want your competitive side to come out for, because all we're doing is just assessing. 1 more time. And beautiful. Shake the legs if you want. Shake the ankles, shake the legs. And then this time we're going to get on our elbows or on our forearms. Grab your block once again and place it inside the knees. It's just another variation, and it's interesting how when we're looking at something, sort of the reaction changes. So keep your chest open, try not to dump into your shoulders, keep the neck relaxed as well best you can. Lift the feet, and the feet are in front of you, knees right on top of your hips, and then open the right leg out. Always feel when my upper body is lifted that my hip or my leg can wing out a little bit farther. Also because my upper body, most of my upper body is lifted off of the mat, so the weight is down on the back, right, or on the glutes. So perhaps there's less surface to play around with, and maybe that's why it can wing out farther. I haven't quite figured out why, but perhaps some of the movement scientists can figure that out for us. I'm sure they have. 2 more times. And then let's wing it out on the left side. Beautiful. 4 more times. Keep the chest open. Keep the breath soft. If your feet are starting to drop, just find them in front of your knees best you can. 1 more time. Beautiful. Lower the feet. You can lower the upper body if you want a little bit of rest. And then let's get on our elbows once again, if this is comfortable to you. Or actually, I wanted to say, if this is not comfortable to you, grab a pillow and just lay back on the pillow. Something that kind of lifts the upper body a little bit more. Feet about mat width apart. And then drop the right knee down. Drop the left knee down. So we're just going to alternate this time. Down. Perhaps 3 more times on each side. Making sure that the upper body is uncompromised. Your neck especially. 1 last time on the left side. Beautiful. You can rest if you want. And then we know that we're going to turn our both hips in now. And so as we do that, try to make sure that as you're turning them in, that you're not forcing them too much to turn towards each other. And basically, you're just going to make it happen and assess. Again, be on your elbows or just lay back on your pillow. I feel comfortable right here, making sure your neck feels safe. And just turn them inward and up. Again, you're not externally rotating, right? Just knees up towards the ceiling. Turning them in. Turning them in. The outer edge of your feet are probably going to naturally peel off the mat. And that's okay. In, center, 4 more times. 3, last 2, and 1. Beautiful. And slowly slide down, knees towards the chest, perhaps roll left and right. Just rock the body up. And yeah, those are just simple movements, simple drills that you can pepper in your classes, or you can include in your everyday practice, everyday mobility drills. It's just good to expose the body in different ways, move the body in all the ways it can possibly go, and explore any limitations, any strengths and weaknesses. And I hope this short and sweet internal rotation mobility drill was something that you found helpful and enjoyable. If you found it enjoyable and helpful, please feel free to check out my other mobility drill classes in my website, www.maud.yoga, which is MAUDE.yoga. Some of you are probably already here, or subscribe to my YouTube channel. Otherwise, I hope I see you guys again next time. Thank you so much and have a good day.